Hello, welcome back again to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Once again, this is your host, Iggy. Hi, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been about a week since I posted my last video, and the reason for the delay is I was dreading having to put this together. I examined the various parts to it, and it would take a German engineer to, to assemble this thing. I was getting very frustrated with it. I had a hard time putting this together. Iggy is not good with instructions or making models, as pardon me, as I've mentioned before. So I had a hard time with this. At one point, I got so frustrated I threw one of the pieces across the kitchen, and then I felt really embarrassed at how immature I was handling this difficulty. The solution to any problem is you just have to stick to it. You have to just keep working at it, and eventually you get it done, like I did here. But I had to remember that in order to accomplish the goal. Now, this castle was made by, well, let's first talk about it a little bit, and then I'll get into the details. This was given to me by my brother Ron for Christmas in 1998. And I remember back in 1998, I attempted to assemble this and got frustrated and gave up on it. So when I reopened the box, by the way, this is the first time this castle has been completely assembled. Like I mentioned, I had troubles with it, and so I just abandoned it. But as you can see, it's a pretty cool looking castle. And in fact, it's much more impressive when you put it together, well, after you have it together, than what it looks like on the box, which you can see here in the background. My intention is to paint that silver part because that doesn't look right to me. So I eventually, when I have a permanent display place for this castle, I will paint the roof and paint that silver part. But it's got a real chain for the drawbridge, which was cool. However, if you notice, it does not have a portcullis. And you might wonder, well, what's a portcullis? Well, you guys know what one is. You've seen them so many times in movies and things. But I'll show you one here. This is from my, let's just say here, medieval warrior book. Weapons and Fighting Techniques of the Medieval Warrior. This book is pretty good. Did you ever notice that in medieval paintings, the people are always much larger than the castle? You see, these guys, if were to scale, would be, I don't know, 50 feet tall, maybe? It's crazy. Anyway, let's take a look at what a portcullis is, and that's this here. And this would be made out of very heavy beams of wood. I think I've seen one that was made of iron. But I'm guessing that it was probably expensive to use iron and would require someone with expertise to forge such a thing. So they would be made out of heavy beams of wood. So let's go back to this. Now, this was made by Simba Toys. I think they made the first one in 1995. It's currently a retired item. What that means is that they just aren't manufacturing it anymore. However, if you are interested in something like this, you still can get one. I think the Toy Soldier Company has 5 of them on hand. I was looking this up on eBay to see if anyone out there had them, and it's still available, even though it's not being manufactured any longer. So Simba Toys was founded by a man by the name of Fritz Siebert. and that he established the company in 1982 in Franconia, and Franconia is part of Bavaria. And Firth, in a city called Firth, Franconia, and it has a population of about 127,000. I was looking at images of it online. It's a really cool looking town. It's a place that you would, well, not everyone's into that thing, but for me, it would have been a dream come true to live there. It's pretty cool looking. Anyway, uh, they have about 3,000 employees, a little over 3,000 employees, and they're the fourth largest toy manufacturer in Germany. They probably net about $361 million a year. Now you can see from this that this castle is pretty impressive. It also came with some figures. They were mostly toy-like. They were kind of similar somewhat to Britain's Detail Knights, which I know I'm going to start a storm of controversy, but I never cared for those very much, especially the ones that they called Saracens, the black ones. I just didn't. I don't know. They just didn't rock my boat, so to speak. It also came with a bunch of ladders. Then all the ladders were really out of scale. Each rung of the ladder, if it was a real ladder, looks like it was about 4 feet apart or something. So there are some problems with, but the castle itself is really awesome. And what I'll do is I'll stand up and give you a better view of the the ward of the castle, which is the inner courtyard, sometimes referred to as the Bailey. And there's the ward. I had so much trouble putting these four pieces together. Oh my gosh. They could have made it a little easier for poor Iggy. And it's got nice firing steps to put your figures. The towers, of course, have this here so you can stand figures up there. So you can really use this as a fantastic way to display all of your Tempo Crusader Knights or Britain's Knights. Not the detail ones. The original Britain's Knights are really awesome. They're very awesome. If you ever get a chance, I don't own any because they can be expensive. Let's see if I can shed some more light on this without creating too much shadow. There we go. By the way, I'm in the cowboy kitchen again. I saved that tray because it looks like my sister when she was younger. Anyway, that's part of the kitchen. So back to the castle. We'll go from the Old West to the Middle Ages. All right, I'm trying to get myself around this table so I can show you what this looks like here. Here's this. I'm not sure why they have these tiger stripes on there like that, but eventually I plan to paint this so we can get rid of those black stripes that are along the side. I didn't really notice them until I put the light on there, but now that I see them, I don't care for that. It looks like it's they're trying to camouflage it or something. And this up here is enclosed, so you can put figures up there too. Here's the gate. So as you can see, the towers are really cool. Let's say you don't care for this building or the walls. These towers you could definitely use for something else. We'll give you a view of the drawbridge. And we'll lift it up so you can see what it looks like when it's up. There you go. I don't know if you could see that because I had something in the way there. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for you this time. I once again apologize for taking so long to present it to you, but it sure was a bear trying to put this thing together. Now, that could just be because I'm not good at it. So, if any of you guys out there have this and had an easier time of putting it together, leave a little message. I'd be kind of interested to find out how terrible I am. Well, actually, I don't want to know that, but I already know that. Okay, guys, that's it for Iggy. Let's do the drawbridge one more time. There we go. I'm going to make a portcullis. I showed you a castle that I redid the main gate, and I made my own portcullis. And what I'll do is I'll just have it come to here so that I can have horses ride in and out. All right, that's what I got for you. And I want to thank you for coming along. Thank you for getting Iggy with it. And if you've enlisted in the Iggy Army, I want to thank you for doing that as well. It's always fun to have you guys sign up and take a tour of Iggy's collection. Iggy likes to show off. I try and stay humble. I get, actually, you know what humbled me really, really big time was I was in the 6th grade and I was collecting Rocco mini tanks. And for those of you unfamiliar with Rocco, they were an Austrian company that manufactured 1/87 scale or HO scale armored vehicles and soft vehicles and whatnot from World War II, and also the NATO post-war NATO vehicles. And I think at the time I had like 13 or 14 of them, and I had probably 7 boxes of Airfix figures. You know, they're 172, the small, you know, the little tiny dudes. And this kid that I was in school with, he and his friend invited me over to their house after school, and we were gonna sit and play with the HO vehicle. So we went in his backyard. I'm trying to remember his name. One guy I know his name was Mark, and the other one I think was Fred. But at any rate, I got there and I was prepared to have everyone go, "Oh wow, Iggy, you got a great collection." Poor Iggy really had his comeuppance. Those guys had hundreds of them, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" They had everything. They had the bridge layer, and they had the Honest John rocket launcher. They had Soviet tanks and World War II. They just had it all. And I learned my lesson to not get what is the word I'm looking for? To entertain hubris. I'm not sure what the word would be. But there's always someone who has a better collection than you've got. And I learned my lesson the hard way because I was prepared to boast and brag and show off, and I was left with my jaw slack and hanging down because of what they had. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to make another video, tell you the truth. I have a whole bunch of stuff in my bedroom that I have to clear out. Why don't I show you so you guys can get an idea of what's going on at the old Iggy homestead. Let me see if I can occupy this chair without tripping. I dropped a glass measuring cup on the floor tonight. I use it to give cat food to the stray cats, the feral cats that hang out on my porch. Take a look at this mess. Look at all this. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 boxes. So my bedroom's starting to look like a warehouse. And poor Kaiser Wilhelm is tired of it. I think he wants me to clear it out. Oh, you know, since I showed you my castle, I should show you my helmets. There you have a pig snout, because the shape of the visor. And I have a Saxon helm. And I have a sugar loaf. And then over here, I have a Stahlhelm M16. And this says, what did this say? Hilft uns siegen. Zeichnet Kriegsanleihe. And here's a German flag from the First Reich. And some of these steins that I bought when I was in Germany, and some on eBay. And then this is fake, of course, but it looks pretty cool. That, of course, is fake. And even that cuckoo clock is fake. And those antlers up there are fake. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I'm going to say good night and thanks for coming along. And as soon as I can, I'll get rid of all this stuff here and post another video. Say good night, Fritz. Good night.